Welcome back to the Southern Pickleball Podcast. As always, I'm everyone's favorite 4-4 DUPR Corin, alongside my co-host and co-founder of Southern Pickleball, Mark Spackman. And today we have our pro-pickleball correspondent in the house, Zach Deutsch. Today's topics will be going over a quick recap of the PPA Vintage Open, the upset surprises, and was it a boom or a bust, as well as DUPR's new forecast algorithm and what that means for you at your next tournament. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now, just a quick word from our sponsors. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Head Pickleball, a favorite of Southern Pickleball and its players all across the country. Diadem Sports, the official pickleball of Southern Pickleball and of the world, and the only pickleball that we want to play with and you should want to play with as well. And Mizuno Pickleball, the shoe that is helping us grow the game on and off the courts. We're also grateful for Mizuno's continued support of Southern Pickleball as they provide us with some incredible giveaways for our tournament players and fans. All right, fellas, Zach, good to have you in the house. As always, we love our pro pickleball correspondent, and we're going to get right into that PPA Vintage Open. But before we get into that, Mark, I see you have a little vintage shirt on there. It looks like one of the OG paddles of the Plex, huh?
I thought it was appropriate since we were talking about wooden paddle tournaments. Paddles at the Plex been going on for years. I remember when I first started in pickleball, everybody was like, you got to go down to Auburn, Opelika for the really cool tournaments. Jim Young and his whole team there. And also thought it was a great chance to put in a plug that Southern Pickleball will be there August 24th through 26th, I think the dates are, for the PPA Amateur State Championships for Alabama.
Yes.
So a chance to come down and see us for that. And you
August?
can also come –
You said August.
Oh, I said August. I'm sorry. October. Thanks. Good catch. He's already earning his
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, the last weekend in October, and then before that, October 10th through 12th, we'll be at Donald Young's new place, Let's Go Pickleball. Yeah, I wore the hat too. Promo bow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at him.
And if you want to do something all 3 weekends in October, in the middle, we'll be in Burlington, North Carolina. But just remember, you don't have to just live in the state to play. They're like open state championships. So you can play one or you can play all three, and you can see it all on our website, southernpickleball.com. But I'm ready to talk some about this tournament.
Yeah, the Vintage Open. So for those of you who don't know, the PPA Vintage Open happened in Sacramento, California this past weekend. This one was a special one. It wasn't like all other tournaments. This one was more of a one-off tournament. Wooden paddles only for all players. They all use pretty much the same exact paddle. It made for some interesting play, to say the least. But why don't we take it over to our pro pickleball correspondent, Zach, and why don't you give us a little recap of what happened, and, were there any big storylines from this weekend?
Yeah, it sucked. I absolutely hated this tournament. There was just nothing fun or interesting about it. Connor Pardo put on Twitter, like, a poll. I don't know why Twitter, of all places, because there's barely a pickleball presence there, but he put on Twitter, like, should we do this tournament again? And I instantly voted no. Like, I don't want to see wooden paddles ever again. I think that there are players that didn't play in this one specifically because it was wooden paddles. I don't even know if you can call half the matches that would be considered upsets real upsets because it was wooden paddles, and I don't know. It wasn't fun. For me to watch anyways. There was a very low amateur presence as well, which I'm not surprised about that, but the pro turnout was pretty low too.
Yeah, the amateur presence not being very high makes sense. I'm not paying $1 million to go play with a wooden paddle. But you're a hater.
I'm a hater.
You're the biggest hater I've ever met because it was fun. It might have been a little gimmicky, but it was fun. It was even, and in my opinion,
I feel like if the pros have anything to say about it, they won't do this again. They won't do wooden paddle.
Well, should it be worth points? I don't know. Should they do it again? Yes. Is Ben Johns, Christian Alshon, and those guys scaredy cats? Yes. But what do you think, Mark?
I'm kind of in the middle. I hated it before. I thought it was a gimmick. I guess I saw one of those polls out there. I didn't realize Connor put it out there or whatever, but I saw one, do you want to do it again? Should we do it again without points or whatever? I'm thinking maybe if you did it without points, maybe if it was like the MLB All-Star game or the NBA basketball game, just a game we're going to get it, it don't count for entertainment. But the thing that I thought, my takeaway from it was that there was not a lot of upsets. It still seemed like most of the right players were winning. And it made me think that, we knew they were playing with the same technology. And that's what all the controversy is right now about people are trying to get an edge with the technology. So at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? Is all the players to be playing with comparable paddles. We want them to win because they're the best athlete or the best pickleball player, not because they have the best paddle in their hand. So this time we knew that they all had equal paddles, but not having time to practice with them, all that, and it just, people not showing up, so it just seemed like a gimmick.
Yeah, little gimmicky, a lot of dinking. It was classic pickleball, but let me say something before we keep going real quick. She said not a lot of upsets, and I disagree. Our favorite amateur pro, Jeannie Bouchard, finally a pro athlete. Finally a pro pickleball athlete because she made it to the finals.
With wood. Does it really count?
I think so. I think with wood, there's a certain level of wrist talent, right, that comes to the top. Jeannie Bouchard, obviously, with her tennis background. There's some wrist talent there. You got to be able to shape the ball without all the grit, without the propulsion cords, without the.
I 100% disagree with you.
No, I bet you can't play with a wooden paddle.
No, you're probably right. I can't, but I'm also not being paid to play with a wooden paddle. I'm not trying to become a pro. I'm a 33-year-old out of shape player that just likes to play. I don't need to play with a wooden paddle. The thing about it is that the women's singles draw. Okay, I know that the women's PPA draws don't really get a ton of entrants in the first place. Barely enough to fill up a round of 64.
Yeah.
But this women's draw only had 19 players.
That's okay. She was number 2 out of 19.
Who cares?
Can I just ask one question? I shouldn't have to ask, but I do. For me and the 99% of other pickleball players that didn't watch this tournament, who did Jeannie beat?
She lost to Kate Fahey in the finals.
She lost to Kate Fahey in the finals.
So did she beat anybody significant on her road to the finals?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she beat Leia Jansen.
She beat Leia. She beat, I think it was Lacey Schneeman.
So some good wins.
Some good wins, yeah. She beat Lane Sleeth.
Sleeth, that's who it was.
She beat Brooke Buckner.
Yeah, she beat Brooke.
Heard some stories about her. She beat Leia Jansen, and then she lost to Kate Fahey. So good wins. And just why don't we give a little, recap a little bit for the people who didn't watch of the winners.
Fed won men's singles.
Yeah, Fed won men's singles.
The Johnsons won mixed over Kate Fahey and Dylan Frazier, which,
yes.
If it was a real tournament with a real field, Kate Fahey and Dylan Frazier don't even sniff mixed doubles final.
Right, exactly, though. But that's exactly it. Like
Jesse and Gabe finished third, though.
Our favorite pickleball couple. Finally.
The couple that made us famous.
Yeah, finally Jesse's, never mind.
Yeah, and women's doubles was...
What couple will make us famous next?
I might know one. I heard some rumors.
Women's doubles was Etta and Lacey Schneeman.
Yeah, how often is Lacey Schneeman on top? And again, wrist talent.
Who cares?
I'm telling you. And Callie Smith, Jesse Irvine, silver. That's if you want to talk about a classic pairing, Callie Jo Smith and Jesse Irvine is like the most classic OG pro pickleball.
Yeah, they're pretty much the grandmas of the pro tour.
Yeah, like the only thing that'd be better is if somehow Simone Jardim came back or something.
Grandmas?
They are kind of the oldest ones.
How about we call them the Cougars? Because we know one of them's a Cougar.
and then men's doubles, the classic old school pairing of Dylan and JW back together again to play with wooden paddles.
Yeah.
Beating Augiga and new paddle manufacturer / company owner James Ignatowicz.
Yes. He was probably not so happy that he had to use a wooden paddle on his first tournament.
I'll tell you what, the most fun that I had was all of the players that ended up breaking their wooden paddles after they lost matches. It was just so fun to see them all snap and break all of them. That was fun. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys are night owls like I am, but no. I stayed up a little bit later and I watched, even though I didn't know half of the players in the field, but I watched some of the PPA Asia tournament that a lot of these pros were in over in Malaysia.
Right.
A real tournament with real paddles.
Yep. And let me tell you, all of the reviews from the American players were basically saying that these Asian players that they were playing against were absolutely insane. Zane was basically like, if any of these Asian players ever come and play in the U.S. and are actually competing, don't lob them because you'll get the badminton smash and you will not be able to return it.
I could see that. But also, I mean, that's what they have to say. It's the same brand. It's PPA, Malaysia. They're trying to build the brand. Why else are they going over there? I heard it was 1,000,000 degrees with 1,000,000% humidity. I heard those guys were jet lagged with humidity they didn't know. They dominated all Americans.
But McGuffin got a gold over there, didn't he?
Yep, him and Eric Onsens beat Ben and Christian in men's doubles.
Yeah, and did you see Eric Onsen's celebration? One of the most iconic celebrations in pickleball.
I love it.
It was great.
What's even funnier is that Eric Onsens and Christian Alshon are men's doubles partners in MLP. And I don't know if you remember that incident from a few months ago, but Eric Onsens beat Christian Alshon in another tournament, and Alshon gave him the double bird. And then they became MLP partners.
Hey, it's all a good friendship.
I mean, it was fun to see semi like arch rivals Christian and Ben pairing up for a tournament. That was fun.
And lose to an old man.
Well, you know,
true that. So final thought here. PPA vintage. Would you want to see it again? I know the answer.
Stinker.
No.
I have no interest.
No interest. What if it has no points?
I'd be okay if we want to do it with no points as like an all-star tournament or something, all-star game type deal. Let's find a big charity that we can give some money to or something.
Yeah, I want to see.
I mean, maybe our charity right now needs to be the PPA so we can keep them.
Yeah.
Well, but,
we might get into that later.
Yeah, I mean, we need pro pickleball to be successful. So I guess I just no, you just asked me for.
Yeah, no, look, I'd like to see it. I think somebody, it might have even been you, Mark. You brought it up. Like, do you want to see a professional football team play with the Nerf football? I do. Like, I'd love to see Josh Allen throw a football.
But
the whole length of the football
on week
field.
17 when you're deciding who goes to the playoffs. Right?
No, not on week 17 in the playoffs. Yeah, so no points. I want to see it again. With points, I don't know. I guess if anything, I'd like to see some of the top players not be so chicken. You know, they're running scared and without their $300 paddles that they switch every week. But anyways, I digress. All right, so let's get on then to our next topic, since we're not really big fans of the Vintage Open, and that's the DUPR forecast.
Another thing I'm not a fan of.
Like I said, you're a hater. So a lot of us got an email recently from DUPR, and it's about the new DUPR forecast. So let me just read that email for those of you who didn't. It probably went to your junk box like it did mine, and you didn't care enough. From DUPR, it says, our newest feature, DUPR forecast, shows you how a match is expected to play out before you even step on the court, and it's free for all users. For now. It makes the game more competitive, more transparent, and more fun. Use forecasts to prepare mentally for tough competition, work to outcompete the algorithm's prediction, or test out new team combinations. With real data at your fingertips, you can play smarter and improve faster. Why forecast matters. More insight. See the odds, not just the results. Motivation. Beat the forecast to boost your rating. Fair play. Know what's realistic before you compete. And unlimited simulations. Try out partners, rivals, or matchups anytime throughout the end of the year. So the next time you step on the court, you'll know not only who you're playing, but how much is really at stake. So all this to say, basically, they came out with a new algorithm where you can win a game and your DUPR goes down. We learned that the hard way. You especially. I think your DUPR is still plummeting.
At the end of the year, though, was that their tease?
Yeah, throughout the yeah, exactly. And then
you gotta have DUPR
DUPR Plus. Exactly.
Gonna tease you.
But yeah. So for example, if my DUPR is so much higher than someone's that I'm playing, and I beat them 15-14, my DUPR is gonna go down because, well, I was supposed to win 15-7. Issue being, to this point, I didn't know I needed to win 15-7. I just knew I was better. Now I can plug it in, and it will tell me I need to win 15-7 or better for my DUPR to go up, right? So what they're claiming is it gives you some clarity, some insight, some motivation, and it's going to be fairer play.
Fair play?
That's what they say.
How so?
More fair.
A little more hooks.
Listen, I love it. I can already tell, again, I'm going to be in the minority here. I like it. If this is the algorithm, which it is, at least let me know what I need to do so then I can do it, right? I mean, you guys disagree, obviously.
Well, look, let's get one thing straight. The algorithm when they updated it in the first place sucked. It's an awful algorithm. Should go back to what it was before. Now they're adding in this forecast thing. I already know people that are within our circle that we play with, when they sign up for tournaments, they go in the night before and they literally look up the DUPRs of everybody that they're about to play. And they're like, I think that is such a, when you're about to play a tournament, that's such a psych out. Because let me tell you this, if you were to look up my DUPR right now, it would tell you that my DUPR's, I think, a 3.44. But you guys play with me on a weekly basis. You know that I'm not a 3.44.
Yeah, at least a 3.46 you are. I mean,
At least. So, but I mean,
I never really try when I play against them. Do you try when you play against them?
I never had to.
Well, that's rude. But I mean, it's just I don't feel like that the forecast really helps anything. If anything, it actually, I think, damages how you're gonna play, because if you go in and the algorithm says, hey, for your DUPR to go up or go unchanged, you have to win 15-2, 11-2. Guess what? You can't control. I mean, you can control the balls that you hit out or wide or into the net or whatever. But what happens when you're up 6-3? Now you give up a point, and now you're up 6-3.
Beginning to sound like whining from a guy
Yeah.
that doesn't like his DUPR.
It sounds like somebody.
I really don't care about my DUPR.
DUPR's going down.
I don't care about it.
I don't watch my DUPR like a lot of people do. I really don't care what DUPR has to say about
3.44.
I don't care.
0.24.
He had it down to like 3 digits, didn't he?
Well, I just signed up for a tournament, so I had to know what my
I love
DUPR
the
was.
forecast, because on my way over tonight, I stopped and I put Mark Spackman, Southern Pickleball co-founder Paul Midkiff versus Zach Deutsch and Corin Duginski.
Oh.
You know what? We don't even have to play it, because we win that 11-6 according to DUPR. We are better.
Yeah,
we don't even have to play it anymore.
Let's just put the score in just like that. It doesn't have to.
Tell you what, let me think for a second. 11-6 sounds pretty accurate, honestly. That might. Maybe. I'm not playing too good. That might be kind of right, honestly. That's not bad. But that's what you got to do. And if we get 8 points, your DUPR's going to go down. I think that, here's the thing. At some point, if you play enough tournaments and you quit complaining, and you quit being a negative Nancy about it, it's going to even itself out. I'm a 4-4. I'm going to be a 4-4 for the rest of my life, because that's what I am.
Well,
and
you also
DUPR's
have
going to round me out there, and it's going to be there where it needs to be.
You have 300 games logged. At this point, it's pretty difficult for you to get that changed. It's like if a pitcher has 200 innings pitched and he gives up 6 runs, his ERA is not going to balloon up like you would think it would.
Because the first 2 innings were more representative of the type of pitcher he was than those last 6, which would argue that the rating is accurate.
Yeah.
But I think some of the things that I think are bigger issues that I'm worried about are, like, now, are we going to see players waiting to enter a tournament? So are they going to be scouting? I mean, am I going to look at all the teams? Am I going to be sitting there in the forecast, and I'm going to be going, well, hey, Zach's asked me to play, and I'd like to play with Zach. I'm doing my forecast, so I beat these teams. Oh, that team just entered. Zach and I can't win that one. Sorry, Zach. Corin can play. Or, I mean, is that going to start – are people going to start waiting to the last minute to enter? Look at that.
People already do wait.
I don't know. I mean, people already wait. People already look at the DUPR. I think one thing, though, is maybe from the other end, like us as organizers, I think now we might have to start saying, like, hey, you're a 3.44, right? You might play better than a 3.44. You might play like a 3.46. Just kidding. You might play like a 4.0. I can't let you join 4.0. Because then the real 4.0s are not going to want to play.
I agree
with
that.
That may become an issue.
Yeah, making them play at the right point. But then the other thing, are we going to are getting called over to courts, and we're going to be, there's all this controversy on court 17 right now, and the score is going to be 5-4, and they're upset because of a line call that was going to make the difference in their out. Not even worried about wins or losses anymore, but about that. And our players are going to start being more worried about their DUPR than they are about the medals, because when I log into DUPR, Corin, I know you're a multi-time gold medal winner. I know Zach's won medals. But if I log in and look at you guys, I don't see your medals. All I see is your DUPR.
That's true.
So are people going to be starting more concerned about that?
Well, I mean, people kind of already do, I feel like. The only good thing that came out, in my opinion, that came out of the DUPR algorithm changing when it did a few months ago is that I feel like it incentivized people to play up in skill level. So if you're like that fringe 4-7, 4-8 player and you have a partner that you do tournaments with, instead of playing 4-5, you play 5-0.
But that's not good for the 5-0.
But what other?
I'm playing a bunch of 4-7. No,
But
well,
if you're above 5-0 though, what other there's not many tournaments out there where that they list 5-5 as an opportunity. I mean, there's Moneyball, of course, where it's like an open division,
right.
But I mean, if you're 5-0, like you're playing, it's more so. I think that it bigger affects like those 3-2-5, 3-3 players deciding whether they should play 3-5 or 3-0.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is maybe this can all be circumvented if we just make people play their actual skill level. And if you
can't prevent somebody from playing up though.
Oh, we could.
I think there's going to be two things.
I think you could.
One, I think you're right, Corin.
Yeah.
Certain tournaments you're going to have to let them play. I think the other thing is going to become a market for non-DUPR tournaments. I think it's just there's going to be a market for tournaments that you don't have to worry about your DUPR rating. You just want to go have fun and play with some people. You don't have to worry about that number.
Well.
Yeah.
Let me just say, this is a question for you, Mark. This is where this really becomes interesting, is that as a tournament organizer, you obviously have to make decisions a couple days before a tournament goes. If you have a division that is 3-0, 50+, let's just say, and there's only 2 teams in it, do you still look into merging them with a 3-5 division? And how do you circumvent the complaints that you might get from a 3-5 if there's not, another 3-0 that you can mix them with?
I think we've already seen that happen, and that before where we might have wanted to merge by age. I mean, we're always trying to do what gives the players the best playing experience. And before, a lot of times we would, especially at the 50+ divisions, that we would merge by maybe age. But now players aren't really wanting that because they don't want to play matches that with this algorithm that they know can constantly tank their DUPR. So, I think one thing that you might see us go to, I mean, I don't know. Even though I'm one of the co-founders, I don't make all the decisions. We do that with our whole team. But I think one thing you might see is that when we have to merge brackets, that we don't report those divisions to DUPR. I think that could be, because we're trying to provide a good, fun playing experience for everybody. We want you to play with either different skill levels or different ages, and we're sorry that we didn't have enough in your division. We still want you to play, but we also don't want to do anything that's going to affect, that number that everybody identifies with you. I mean, I think in some ways DUPR is so important to the game because we have to be able to regulate sandbagging. We have to be able to get people in the right spot. But in other ways right now, I feel like DUPR is just destroying the game.
Well, I feel like it's got a chokehold on the players. I mean,
I feel like DUPR has really made pickleball into, I don't really know a better term for it, but I feel like it made it elitist.
But is that DUPR or is that just where the game's going?
I think that's DUPR.
Could be.
Because I feel like beforehand, if you would go to open play, like you would be able to just kind of like mix in with open play. Obviously, you can tell people's skill levels by how they play if you're watching them, but now it's kind of like people know for the most part, like if you're in a solid group of people that what everybody's DUPR is. I mean, I can just say from personal experience, like I've stopped being asked to play things because my DUPR is not above 4-0, so it's kind of a shitty feeling. But I mean,
play better.
I mean, you're part of you're
gotta play better.
That's why people love it though, is because it puts people in the right courts with the right people.
But I mean, the thing is the people who have stopped inviting me, I also in open play settings have beaten them plenty of times. It's not
open. But that's the thing. I think pickleball so I'm not just picking on you about that though. Is you cannot count an open play win like you can a tournament win.
Sure,
much different.
You're never getting the same.
But I've never asked those people to play in tournaments either.
If I go out to an open play and you take it easy on some people and open play, or you're trying to work on some things, then you're walking to the parking lot and you're hearing them go, "Man, we just beat Spackman and Duginski. We should be playing."
I need to be in that.
So it's that's just what's so crazy about pickleball with all that. But
yeah, it's good. Well, let's make it easy. DUPR forecasting, good or bad for the game?
Bad.
Bad. DUPR forecasting, good or bad for the game?
DUPR, great for the game. Just make sure in case y'all clip this. DUPR, great for the game.
Clip everything else he said.
DUPR forecasting sucks. I mean,
Sucks.
It's stupidest thing ever.
I like it. I think
the wrong word. Bad for the game.
I think maybe if you were to try to like overall, maybe it's a little stupid, but considering what DUPR's new algorithm is, I think it's needed. I think it is part of the transparency. And let me just say this before we log off here. DUPR, much like age, is just a number. Ask Jessie Irvine. She knows all about both of those. So it's not, it's just a number. It is what it is.
I have a hot take.
Don't think of it too. All right.
I have a little bit of a hot take when it comes to why I think DUPR forecasting. I just thought of this while we were talking about it. The reason I think DUPR forecasting has become a thing and why it just got announced is because now PPA is partnered with Kalshi, the betting site, and now DUPR forecasting allows the betting sites to put lines, money lines, and spreads and point totals as betting features for pickleball.
Yeah, but that's not new. I mean, back when Steve Kuhn was one of the involved in the beginning, he had this idea that it was going to be that we were going to go out and play and be able to look at our DUPR ratings and say the score, and we'd be able to bet right there at open play. I mean, he thought that was going to fuel the whole thing. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. But is that any different than power rankings in football or,
Well, I think that since DUPR is the universal rating system, this kind of makes it a little bit more official and something that the people who are funding the bets are able to kind of like look at and be able to look at something quote unquote official. So I think that this just fuels that.
Fair enough. Hey, give me Zach over 5 points in any 4-0 open play out there in America. But one thing's for sure, I think we're going to be hearing a lot about this. Especially since we have a lot of tournaments coming up. And you guys make sure you don't forget to check out southernpickleball.com where you can see all our upcoming tournaments. As Mark said, we have 3 different state tournaments coming up here soon. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Southern Pickleball Podcast. And we will see you all next week. And don't forget, DUPR is just a number. See you guys later.